I tried rubbing alcohol. I tried hand sanitizer. I think that's how strong cravings can be, and that's really where drinking can take you. I didn't know what was going to happen. At that point, I had dug my hole so low. I didn't have a job. I lost my job. I lost my car. I got a second DWI. I was on the verge of losing my marriage. I had no money. I was virtually homeless. I was drinking mouthwash, and so I came to in the middle of the day. My dad had drove me home. And I just came to, and he's like, you're going to detox. I think it's such a cool time to choose sobriety or to go alcohol free or take it for a test drive, because it's getting so much more accepted, so much more normalized, where people aren't doing it because they have a problem. People are choosing it because they want to feel better.
Hey guys, I have Jen Hurst with me today. She's been sober for
12 to 11 and a half.
12.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 2013. Yeah, okay. So you quit in 2013.
Yes.
And can you take us back to that moment of why you quit?
Yeah. I mean, that's such a loaded question. I think it was, for years, I had tried to coming up as a perfectionist, and I always put like my before pictures as someone who has it all together, how you would never think of to have a problem. And there's so many reasons why I quit. I think the ultimate decision of why I quit was to, honestly, this sounds so cliche, but to continue living. Like, there's certain spectrum when you drink, and of how much you drink, how often. I was on the very severe spectrum, but you couldn't tell it from pictures back then because I was really good at hiding it. I didn't drink around people. Rarely. I would do the social drinking, but people didn't see when I came home. I would drink after, I would drink before, I would drink when my husband was away. And it was just a way for me to cope with a lot of anxiety. And my drinking really started with pain and heartbreak from my second boyfriend. And I only knew this by doing usage history, where you write out your sober story. I had no idea how this even came about. And then it turned into anxiety. Then it turned into I couldn't fall asleep. And so I would drink to fall asleep. And then it got to a point where, as a workaholic, as an Enneagram 3, I was working around the clock, and I would use drinking to cope, to have fun, to relax, because I was under so much pressure. And until I couldn't stop. And I would give goals for myself of, if I can go this amount of days, then I'm good. If I could go this amount of days, then I'm good. And I couldn't do it. Sometimes I could, but most often than not, I couldn't. And no one knew what I was going through, because my pride and my image was so important to me of how I was raised. I was raised in a perfectionist family where we appear good on the outside, but we don't really talk about what's going on. We don't let people see what's going on. And I was so afraid of what the label of what an alcoholic would do to my image. I tried to be the perfect weight. I tried to look the perfect way. I tried to have my hair this. I tried to have this, because I think deep down, if I did that, then I felt like I could be loved and I could be accepted and people would like me if I appeared good. But I would drink because I couldn't live up to these expectations. And I was just so stinking hard on myself. And so it was many, many attempts to finally get it. I am someone who is stubborn and tenacious. And if you tell me I can't do something, I tried to moderate alcohol in so many ways. I tried switching to beer. I tried switching to wine. I tried drinking this. I tried doing that. I tried switching to mouthwash. Mouthwash was actually my drink of choice for the last year.
Mouthwash?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that, because I experienced so much shame from what I was doing, and in secrecy, because the secret was out after we got married. My husband was keeping tabs on me. So I heard in treatment, or somewhere along the way, that mouthwash contains the same amount of alcohol as vodka or as this. It can get you drunk. So I'm like, no way. Now I know my secret. And I felt less shame going into Target and buying mouthwash than going into a liquor store and rotating my liquor stores wearing a cap so they wouldn't see my swollen eyes. I would experience so much shame that doing that felt okay. like I wasn't going to be judged. And so again, I tried rubbing alcohol, I tried hand sanitizer. I think that's how strong cravings can be, and that's really where drinking can take you. And I hope it doesn't for people. And I think it's such a cool time to choose sobriety or to go alcohol free or take it for a test drive, because it's getting so much more accepted, so much more normalized, where people aren't doing it because they have a problem. People
Mhm.
are choosing it because they want to feel better. They care about their brain, that it gives them headaches, it keeps them stuck. And so I chose this on April 23rd of 2013, which was my last drink after really pushing it. I didn't have a lot of more attempts. I was pretty much on the verge of not waking up, which a lot of people don't know, and I don't have a lot of pictures of it. Because we didn't have social. I mean, we had social, but we don't post or
Mhm.
share as much as we did, today. So, and it was in detox. I was in there for a second time. I've gotten 2 DWI, and I can go into my history too. You can also, I'm openly share this. There's a lot of baggage there. Um, but I had to keep pushing it
Yeah.
until I finally felt like I was so sick inside, until I finally felt that continuing to drink was so much harder than choosing sobriety. And I didn't know what was going to happen. At that point, I had dug my hole so low. I didn't have a job. I lost my job. I lost my car. I got a second DWI. I was on the verge of losing my marriage. I had no money. I was virtually homeless.
So
And
rock bottom.
basically rock bottom, but it's
Yeah.
different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
That was mine. And I thought so for sure my first DWI was my rock bottom. No, I had 8 more years left of drinking
Oh, wow.
to go. And so that was it for me. But until I finally accepted, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And I'm not going to keep fighting it. Something that's just not meant for me. And I was so freaking done. I had court the next day. And again, no one was talking to me. But it was in that moment in detox, it was like this internal shift and this internal decision. And that's why when I coach women, of this click moment of I don't know when that's going to happen for people. I can't push you to be ready. That is up to
Mhm.
you. And so if you're not ready, I encourage them continue doing field research. Keep testing it until you come to this point where you're enough is enough and you're done. And as soon as I stopped fighting it, like everything became easier. Now, I'm not saying life was perfect. I had to do a day in jail. I had to get my license back. I had to do house arrest. I had,
House arrest.
house arrest and breathalyzer in my car for 2 years. Like I had so much stuff to clean up, but I just let go of what was going to happen. And I took responsibility for the mess that my drinking created, knowing that that wasn't me. That was something that took over who I was and took away that spark within me. And so I didn't, get my life back overnight, but it's so amazing when you stop one thing, how much life can improve. In 4 months, we learned I was pregnant. Within
Oh, wow.
4 months, I got a job back in my field. Within 6 months, I was promoted. Right before my year anniversary, we had my son, and then we bought a house. Like all this stuff kept happening, and all I was doing was not drinking. Granted, I
Why
was following yeah, I know, weird, right? And so, and I still had a lot of things to do. I had the breathalyzer, I had all of those things, but honestly, I took it one thing at a time. I got a job, in those 3 months after I got sober, I went back into a 30-day stay because I know that was going to be court ordered anyway. Even though I had made my decision, no one, I expected no one to believe me. Because how
Mhm.
many times have I lied to them? I
Yeah.
promise this is it. I've been to inpatient 3 times. I've been to outpatient 8. So how do they know I was done? But I just started showing up, putting in the work, going to my meetings, doing my 30-day stay, doing my outpatient, getting a therapist, getting a psychiatrist, getting my parole officer, all of those things. And slowly but surely, I got back my life. And so I chose sobriety because I honestly, I wanted to live. And the path I was continuing on, I didn't have much time left. And I knew it. Like I could feel myself shutting down. Um, so yeah, that's why I chose it.
Wow. You like you said, everybody has their own rock bottom. And but people do see rock bottom as losing a job, losing your marriage, not having money, being homeless. I mean, you didn't lose your marriage, but almost.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. My husband did a podcast, I think it was a month ago, his first podcast. He doesn't really talk about this, but he explains that, I had to set these boundaries and we were not talking for a while. And it took him a very long time to trust me again, like years, which I didn't even know. So yeah, and I'm not saying like marriages will make it, but you hope you do.
Mhm.
And I think marriages also go through a process and a journey because who we were when we were drinking was completely different than who we are when we're sober. And so you have to figure out, do we still like each other? And it's just so
Right? Oh
crazy
my
that
gosh.
it's
Yeah.
just so
I
crazy how like one thing can do that.
I literally said, and I said this in previous podcasts and videos, but I literally told my husband, it was probably not even 2 months into it. And I was like, I don't like you. Like, we've obviously gotten past it, but I was like, because you don't know each other sober and you're trying to figure each other out like in a whole
Yeah.
different life. So, yeah, I
Yes.
totally understand
I
that.
mean, we met at Brewfest, and we met hammered. And
Yeah.
so a lot of the things that we did, and he explains this in his podcast, is that a lot of the things we did revolved around drinking. So it's like, who are we if we don't have
Mhm.
that? What do we do if we're not drinking? And it was weird. I was like,
So
this
weird.
is weird to be myself. And like, what do we even do? Like, and that was the one thing that scared me when I got sober is like, what do I do? How am I going to
Mhm.
have fun? Like, what are we going to do together? Like, what else is there to life other than alcohol? Because it's so married into every single thing that we do
Yeah.
that it took me a long time to figure out, oh, I can do basically anything without it, if not way more, and have so much more fun because now I'm actually discovering what I like and what I want to do and also who I want to be around. And that's really important.
I
Um,
like how you said who you can be around or who you want to be around because I feel like when we're in the deep of drinking, we'll just be around anybody.
yeah.
Like, so they're as toxic as the substance that we're drinking.
Yes. And we drink to tolerate people
Yeah.
that we don't want to be around or activities that don't bring us joy.
Yes.
You just said no, I don't if you're there's this quote that's like if it's not fun without alcohol, it's just not fun. And it's
Yeah.
like it's so stinking true. If what you're doing is not bringing you joy, if you don't like it, congratulations. That's something that indicates you are getting more self-aware with what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
So, and even how you feel around other people. Do they give you energy? Do they suck the life out of you? And we don't have to drink to tolerate, unwanted behavior or boring things for us. We can just choose not to surround ourselves with those people or to just not do them and do more of the things that you like. And if you don't know what that is, then you can explore. You got to try new things. Like I didn't know I liked gardening or the country or any of these things. You got to try it. Don't judge it, and then figure out how do I feel. Like even going to a concert. I
Mm.
think everyone feels so. I know I was so scared to go to a concert sober, but oh my God, just allow yourself to experience it, and it's
Mhm.
so much more enjoyable
It's a whole
when we're
different, yeah,
sober.
it's way different sober.
And you're not wasting your money because number one, you're wasting your money on alcohol. You're not wasting all of this money that you spent on the concert, and you're not even there to fully experience it because you're hammered. Chances are you're going to drink before, drink during, drink after, and you miss it. Um, so yeah, it really is a superpower, and it's well worth it.
Oh my gosh, spot on. So You grew up in a perfectionist family.
Mhm.
Do you think, did you start drinking at a younger age?
I had my first, so my parents never drink around me.
Yeah.
They're very goody two shoes. We always had alcohol around, but they would have like a beer. So I never really experienced them drunk. But I had my first drink at 15 and got drunk for the first time, but it really didn't become a problem until I was 22, 21 or
Okay.
22. I would just, social drinking with friends. It wasn't until then where I started drinking in secret, where I got the idea that I could self-medicate and take any pain away with alcohol. I'm like, now I never have to feel heartbreak. I never have to feel sad. Anytime I get nervous, I can just drink and I'll
Yeah.
be okay. Little did I know how much more cortisol, like how much more anxious I was. Alcohol was fueling my anxiety, that it was just making me so much more anxious and incapable of handling these situations. If I would have known then what I know now, I think my life would have turned out very differently. But I don't regret it.
Hmm.
But I think now we can use it for my kids, and how I raise them to make sure they know the dangers, the risks, but that I'll always love them. I'll always support them. I'm never going to not pick them up or do anything of that.
Yeah.
But I think everyone deserves to have an informed choice. I think for many years, we've always just seen it one way of, you need alcohol to go to a football game. You need alcohol. There's alcohol in kids' movies. I mean, there's so many associations where now we're starting to see the other side and having a new voice, and that's super freaking cool. So, yeah.
And your kids don't have to experience seeing you drunk ever.
Yeah. And I
That's
know
the
for
nice thing.
many, they don't have that opportunity. I know for many moms, their kids are grown up and they've seen them. But I think there's still such a powerful impact of having your children, number one, not having a mom who drinks, but also to have a mom who drank and then got sober is having such a profound impact on them and their choices. That's where I can find, and I hope to instill in my clients, the gratitude in that, of now they can see both sides, and that they can see a mom who chose this and this is how she do it, and how much of a difference alcohol can play in their life.
And I feel like with this whole mommy wine culture and it's implemented into yoga now, it's, into marathons, and it's just implemented in so many things. I mean, we talked a little bit about Beachbody because you were a Beachbody coach, and like how they balance alcohol into a healthy lifestyle. And once you're out of it, it's cringeworthy. And it's all the moms working out at home. And it's all these coaches saying, oh, you can drink, just fill your yellow container or whatever container it is. I'm like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And I think it's such a powerful place or stance to be, is when you can notice it
Mhm.
and become aware of it. And it's like stepping out of the matrix, is that all of these people are still in this matrix thinking that, okay, we're doing all of these good things for our body. We're fueling our body with Shakeology. We're moving our body. We're feeding our mind with personal development. But never ever take my glass of wine away. Right. But
Yeah.
wine, that's okay. They're still seeing the health benefit. We deserve it. And so just being in that choice, like, no, just being aware of it is so powerful. And I know, and I feel you. It's the one thing that just makes me so irritated when I do these programs and they celebrate with a bottle of champagne after you complete a program. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, 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 no. You're missing the entire point. Can't you
Yeah.
celebrate by doing like a wellness shot, or you know, I don't know, like there's so many other ways, like cheersing with Shakeology or Recover. Like, why does it have to be champagne?
You
It's
would
just
think now that never dawned on me. Like, yeah, they should cheers with Shakeology or Recover or
yeah, that's
hydrate.
what you do after a workout. right? Put it in a
Mm.
fancy glass. Put like a
Yeah.
little peppermint stick in it. I don't know, make it fancy. Put it in a fancy glass. But don't poison yourself when you complete a program. It just
Yeah.
makes no freaking sense. But I'm also not going to judge that. Like I love the programs. I love Shakeology. I've been doing it since 2017. But yeah, anytime I hear that, I'm like, oh. And so what I like to do is just to kind of take a picture of it, take a snapshot to point this out to people
Hmm.
of when I see it or hear it in kids' movies, in kids' shows, on TV, like these different touch points. We may not think that it's having a difference, but there's this one video on YouTube that is mind blowing. It's like a 7-minute video. It blew my mind of the power of subliminal messaging, of just
Yeah.
seeing that. You'd be like, oh, yeah, whatever, all of that, seeing that from a very young age, from maybe seeing your parents drink, from seeing people drink at the football game, to seeing them advertise it at a baseball game. Like I saw a woman chugging a beer in front of my son and people cheering her on. All of that is shaping their perception. And so just noticing it, taking a picture of it, oh, see that? Because many of these things we don't even recognize. But the
Hmm.
music that we hear, the things that we see, all of that is shaping your beliefs.
Yeah.
And so if we can just notice it, oh my God, see what they're doing here. Now my kids are, Mom, it's another alcohol ad. I'm like, oh, get my phone. Or like if I see it in a kid movie like Ratatouille, they show a boy or the main guy getting hammered and drunk and having a hangover. I'm like, what? How
Yeah.
is this like legal? And so, but again, this was like 10, 12 years ago and much has changed. But I think noticing it, talking about it instills change just so we can become aware of the brainwashing that is happening from a very young age. So then we can ask ourselves, how can I brainwash myself and also notice it, but also brainwash myself to sobriety of I'm going to feed myself personal development, Shakeology, all of these things, affirmations to redirect my mind to what I want. I'm not drinking tonight. I choose sobriety because, all of this stuff. So we can be reminded all the time of why we're choosing in this in a world that tells us otherwise
Yeah.
until it's starting to change. And it's so cool because we're just at the beginning. And I really think there's so many posts out there and predictions. I think within at most 10 years, we're going to have that same viewpoint as we look at cigarettes. Like alcohol is the new cigarette and it's just getting started. And that's
I You're the second one that I've heard that from this week, and then I'm reading a book also, and she mentions it also. She
yeah.
said alcohol is going to be like cigarettes. And
Hmm.
so many people have been saying that, and I'm like, wow. Like I mean, I can see it, but I mean, some people say bring the prohibition back, but I mean, really, in all reality, you can get drugs on the street. Like you're
Yeah.
going to get alcohol if you want alcohol. Um so when did you put yourself in? Did you put yourself in detox, or did somebody like were you pushed into detox?
I was pushed into it. I'm trying to think of the first time I was there. Like somehow that's a blur. I mean, of course it is, but I was there once. I think it was after my DWI. I can't remember. But I was forced there. So it was my last day drinking, April 23rd of 2013. I had gone to my dad's office. He's a lawyer because they needed to keep tabs on me because I couldn't be trusted. And that only made me more furious and more um, triggered to drink. I was just going to be like, I'm going to show you. Just watch me. I can prove to you that I can get away with it. And so I blacked out at his office. I threw up. Um, I was drinking mouthwash
Oh,
uh, and
oh.
so I came to in the middle of the day. My dad had drove me home and I just came to and he's like, you're going to detox. And then they took me to the ER. Um, and then I came to again because I was in a blackout. And the first words I said to my mom were, help me. And I started crying. And then they transferred me over to a detox. And not the funnest place, but it was there where I made the decision to quit for good. Like, and I meant it this time and I was
It,
ready.
and how long? And how many times prior, I'm sorry, you mentioned this, you tried several times to get sober.
Yeah, a million.
And and so what I have a lot of people that are struggling and they're like, I don't know how to do it. Like I relapsed again. I just can't let it go. But how do you encourage people to like get through that? Because I feel like it's a mindset shift.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's our goal as a coach. It's like my goal, I can't get you sober. Like that has to come from
Yeah.
you. I can show you what to do and get you there faster. That's my goal. But you have to show up and do the work. And like you said, it is a mindset. It is a mindset shift. That's what it is. It's an internal switch within yourself where you're done and you stop fighting it. And so, I mean, number one, I think to not discredit yourself. I think the best thing I can offer someone as a coach is to encourage them, is to love them, is to support them. Because that's one thing I really didn't get when I was struggling because people didn't know what to do with me. They just thought I was broken. I should have been cured. And so for anyone who's continuing to relapse, number one, don't beat yourself up. Unfortunately, it's part of the process. But
Mhm.
I like to really reframe relapses and slips as learning opportunities.
Yeah.
If you're trying, I mean, the only prerequisite to sobriety is to continue to try and to never give up trying. You will eventually get there. It might not be as quickly as you want, but you're going to eventually get there. And the time it takes for you to be where you're at to where you want to be, I mean, that's on you. So I think one of the best things that you can do, number one, reframe it, the relapse to a learning opportunity to feedback. Okay, if I'm really trying at this and I've been sober for maybe 10 days and I slipped, what was happening during that time? And
Mm.
also, what are the tools that I have in my toolbox right now that are supporting me in this, that are helping me stay sober? Number one, are you in a sober community? You have to have that above
Mhm.
all else, whether that's a men's and women's group. I really recommend, for me personally, just being in an all women's or all men's
Yeah.
group because I will not share things with men that I share with women. I feel more comfortable. To find one that works for you, there's so many out there. Of course, I have mine, but there's many others out there. Um, to get reading, right? What are you fueling your mind with? So, with all this stuff coming from advertisers and all of the things, what are you fueling your mind with? So, picking up Quit Lit to start to understand, because that also helps you to make that mindset shift,
Mhm.
right? So, what is the effort? What are we doing in that period of trying to get sober? What are we adding in to make this stick? And it's not always that you're going to have to put this much effort into your sobriety. But I really feel like when you get sober, it's kind of like going back to college because a lot of stuff changes with this one decision, right? Because everything's kind of been tainted up until this point, your friendships, your job, every single decision that you make. If you continue to drink, you're not really showing up as yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think this community is really important. So you can connect, realize you're not alone, that you're not the only one, that drinking, have a problem with drinking is actually the norm, that your body isn't meant to process poison. It's not meant to process a drug. It is addictive. And that's nothing on you. That's just your body doing what it's supposed to. So helps to lessen that shame within yourself, helps you to connect, especially if you don't have a sober community or sober support where you live. Getting to read to fuel that mind is
Yes.
also really important, but give yourself some grace as well. Um, but I think those are the top two things I think to start to do in this process to get started. But I think where you are to where you want to be, for many of us, it's just time.
Yeah.
And for me, I hope you get there quicker than I did and you don't have to lose things that I did. And my and your role as the coaches is to get you there faster, to make that switch by uncovering what your fears are. What are some of the things you're worried about? What are some reasons why you drank? And let's start to work on that.
Yeah.
And then over time, hopefully, we'll go through, okay, what can you expect? Here are some things to help you through it, to get over like the withdrawals and all of that. And then also here are some tools to add in. But until then, I think the community and the reading are going to be really, really important to start. But like I said, a lot of where I am to where people are right now or where they want to be, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
feel like some people look at us like, oh, it was easy for you. And it's like, I don't think you realize what like actually was going on when you first stopped drinking. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't easy. I mean, yeah, is it going to be easier for me than somebody that was, like you like drinking mouthwash? Well, I maybe not. But like the comparing game of, well, it's easier for you. It's like, no, it's not. Like all of us have our own challenges with it. And a lot of it comes with a lot of baggage of letting go of like the toxic people in our life and boundaries. And I mean, it's a process. And you do a lot of programs. So you're Lighthouse Sobriety, right?
Yeah, that's my membership. Well, I
That's your
think it's my
membership.
company. Yeah.
It's on
I'm
your
like, oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's my company too. Yeah.
And you run programs like Dry 100 and AF 70.
Hmm.
And do you see a lot of positive stories coming out of these programs? Because
I do.
I feel like if you're in a program, it really, really, truly helps. You don't need to go, you know, well, some of us don't, but explain your programs.
Yeah. And the thing with it too is like, I love treatment. I've been to treatment 3 times, inpatient. I loved it. Like, I love working on myself. And I do get a lot of positive feedback from the women who take my programs. And it's interesting because a lot of them retake it. So a lot of the women who are in AF70 are going into Dry 100, even though it's a lot of the same content, but it's longer. I'm going to incorporate some new topics, but what they have going is working and they want to keep it going. They like the
Yeah.
tightness, the closeness of the groups. They love their accountability. I am very involved in my programs. I'm in there, posting in the morning, posting in the afternoon, posting in the evening, asking them to check in. I give you trackers, I give you workbooks, I give you coaching. Like it's a lot, but it's supposed to be. There's many different touch points, all to help you succeed. Because when we take something away, you have to replace it with something.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where my programs come in is it's like you're going back to college. It's kind of like a part-time job. And the women that do engage, that show up as they can to the meetings, that do the work in a way that works for them, have the most success. And so my program, Dry 100, which is coming up January 6th, it's 100 days. Because so many people, I mean, the most popular time to get sober is coming up, Dry January. But most
Yeah.
people just give alcohol free a test drive for 31 days. I'm like, you guys are missing it. Like, that's just that's like withdrawals. And, more often than not, you're going to feel a lot better. But sometimes it takes a while for dopamine to restore, for you to feel better. And there's so much to learn when you do this process. If you really want to do it, if you really want to feel better, then I do recommend going 100 days, if not a year. And I
Yeah.
know that's scary, but it's like, and I said this before, you've already seen where drinking can take you. Why not just give it a shot just to see how good you can feel? And so my programs are for women who are struggling with drinking, who are sober curious, who are already sober, but looking to feel better. And that's where I implement these 6 simple habits where, like we were talking before, when I did 75 Hard a couple years ago, I got me thinking of like, I should do something like this for sobriety of like these little daily things for them to focus on to help fill the time. That's also going to help boost happiness, boost dopamine naturally because we're not getting that huge surge from alcohol anymore, and something that's going to boost their confidence. And so I implemented these 6 daily habits. And your goal is to show up for them as you see fit. Now, with Dry 100 this year, I'm giving you 2 options, whether you want to complete the 6 habits every day or to do just 2. Because I've recognized over the course of my programs that some women are like, let's freaking go. I want to do it. I want to be perfect. This is so helpful. And some are like, oh my God, I just need to stay sober and that's enough.
Yeah.
And so you have 2 options where I meet you where you're at. I don't expect perfection. I just want you to see progress. And it helps me. I do the challenge with you because if you guys don't help me stay as someone who's running the
Yeah.
program, you better believe I'm showing up every single freaking day. On the cruise, when I was just on a cruise, I was moving my body, I was doing my pages, I was doing my gratitude. Why? Because they help me to feel better. My mindset shifts when I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. My mindset shifts and I feel better when I move my body and I give myself a break. My mindset shifts when I drink pure water. My
Mm-hmm.
mindset shifts when did I say read personal development? Read Quitlet or personal development. If I don't have this group, I'm just not going to do it. But it's all of these are designed to help you stay sober. And then every single week we'll have a topic geared towards helping you build your sober toolkit. Like you said, talking about boundaries. What do you say to people? How do you live sober? How do you travel sober? Navigating the airport? Like all of these things that I didn't get in treatment, they told me, okay, this we're just going to get you sober. They didn't really teach me how to live sober. I get into really the nitty-gritty of dressing confident, packing a cooler, what to feel when you have anticipation anxiety before an event. Like that's a normal thing to
Yeah.
experience. What do you do after the event? Because I find some women after they do good during an event, it's like the after feeling, that's when they're triggered to drink. So listening to my clients, what they need, and then adjusting my programs to tailor that to what they need, but also implementing these lessons based on the journey of when I feel like you're going to need them most. Um, so that's what it is. It's 100 days. There's 6 daily habits, and you feel so amazing at the end. And that's why I find, I mean, half the women who are already in Dry 100 have taken my programs before, and they like that structure. They're like, I really need to get back to the habits. They help me to
Yeah.
feel better. And so yeah, and I like to make it fun because I really think that's what sobriety is. I was raised in a environment where it's like, oh yeah, we have to get sober and looking at our past. I'm like, no, there is so much opportunity here. I want to make it fun. We have prizes, we have water challenges, we have bingo. Like, I want to make this a choice that you want to do, not that you have to do. And so we go through that with a get to mindset. I
Yeah.
get to do this. I get to make this choice. I get to move my body because I'm not waking up with a freaking hangover and wanting to waste the day in bed. And so I think all of those things combined help you to get to this decision that I think life is just better sober. Even if they don't feel that or have that intention in the beginning, everyone's free to do whatever they want after the challenge. My hope is that they continue on. And that's why I have, again, many women joining Dry 100 to have that community, to have that support to make this into the spring. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think with like backgrounds like me and you, I feel like we were both beach body coaches and we both did 75 hard. And I literally will like sometimes I feel like I'm a broken record about 75 hard, but it literally changed my life. And you implement those similar habits into your programs, which I try to tell people all the time, like do this, do this, do this. But I mean, I not officially have a coaching program yet, but I really feel like those habits definitely help. It keeps your mind busy. You're moving your body, and it's just like it changes your mind, and it
Yes.
slowly, like all of a sudden, you're like, oh, like I'm feeling better, and
When did you
alcohol's not
start
involved.
feeling better in 75 hard? What day was it for you?
Oh my gosh, those first 3 weeks were terrible. I was bored.
You were
Because I
bored?
did. Well, I didn't know any. Well, I mean, I had like my nights were consumed of drinking all the time, so I just
Yeah.
had to.
Oh, yeah. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. I was like, what?
So
I was like, oh, am I gonna get everything in?
I think it was right around that 4 to 6 week mark is when I started feeling better. And that's when I told you I did my video and it just took off and I built a community and kept me sober. And I really feel like having a community is definitely helpful. I mean, there's so many of us. And I think that, if people resonate with you and you're helpful, that's absolutely amazing. Not everybody's going to resonate with every coach. I mean, I've met tons of coaches and everybody is absolutely amazing. I've met some where I'm like, like it's a little different. Like everybody has different personality, but if you resonate with somebody, it's absolutely amazing. You build a community with them, and then they just keep coming back to you.
Yeah.
Like you've built an amazing community. It sounds like.
Oh. Well, and again, it's just honestly, it's like it's showing up and
Mhm.
sharing your story.
Yeah.
And what's great about social is that whatever you share, you're going to attract. So when we have my retreats and I get to actually meet these women, I'm like, they are so amazing. They're so nice. Like there's no drama, there's none of that. I'm like, oh, but that's a reflection of whatever I'm putting out there. I'm not saying I'm like the best or whatever. I like them because they're like me
Yeah.
and they care. They like to work out. They care about their health. They like a challenge. They like to have fun, bright colors, all of those things. And they're very determined women. They're women with very successful jobs. Um, and it's so cool to like get everybody together because it's just high energy. And
Mhm.
it's there's nothing like it. And I think that's what's so great about the social and sharing your story is that, like you, women who work with you are going to be different than maybe women who work with me because everyone's different and
Yeah.
everyone's looking for something different. And so you just got to figure out who you connect with, who you look up to. Just like how I joined my Beachbody coach and I became a coach, like I had no intention of being a Beachbody coach. Like sharing my story, all of that was very uncomfortable for me. But there's a reason why I followed this random woman just because they posted a transformation. And I'm very attracted to women with muscles because I think that's so incredible. Like, what is she doing? And I'm like, why am I following her? I'm like, there's a reason that I'm following her is I want to be there. I want to be her friend. I mean, I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. I was like, I want to be her friend. She seems so cool and she knows what she's talking about because look at her. And so I'm like, maybe I should be a coach. And so that's just kind of, how it happens is you start following someone, you start watching their stories or watching what they're putting out there. And that's what I love about it with stories, with reels, is that people can get to know you without
Mhm.
ever meeting you. So women can get to know who I am. They know about my dog Dexter, who's I have to take to the vet. He bit my finger today. And it's just they
Oh,
know that. They know all of that because I share it, right? I
yeah.
share my behind the scenes life, which is messy and chaotic and but I do that to let women know I'm human, I'm real, I have feelings and that's how we can build a relationship. So that's what I love about social and sharing your story.
It's amazing. Where can we find you? I mean, I know where I can find you, but where can my audience find you?
Yeah, so I like to hang out on Instagram. I am Jen Lee Hurst. It's supposed to be Jen Hurst. Someone else has Jen Hurst. So JenLeeHirst. You can also check out my website, joinlighthousesobriety.com. And if you'd like to join, I'm not sure when this podcast comes out, but Dry 100 starts January 6th, and then we start prep week December 30th to get you all set and ready to go. So,
Well, I'll make this one a priority so we can get it out
hey,
sooner.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean anything that can like help people, and that's what I love about this community is like I feel like a lot of like if sober coaches just come together, like I think it just gets the word out even more. And
Yeah.
I'm not as organized as you right now because I'm just started. So like
I'm
if
not
my
organized.
people can join your challenge, like yes, please help them. Like
Ah. Well, and that's what we all want, right? Is to
yeah,
help as many people as possible. And so, the more that we can help, the better. And that's what I love about sober coaches is that when you can work together, you can help more people. And again, someone who might not jive with me might jive with you too.
yeah.
So, I think when you have that overall purpose and that overall goal, then good things happen. So.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I could sit here and talk to you all day, but I mean, unfortunately, we have a time limit. But there's so much more to your story. So they can also go to find you on Instagram and listen to more of your story. I really appreciate you being here. And I mean, I follow you. And like maybe one day I can meet you in person too.
Absolutely. You're from where again?
I'm in Idaho.
Idaho. Okay. Not too far away from Minnesota. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to, you guys, so I'm going to be at Sober in the City. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
No.
So it's a sober event, put on sober in the city. Going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona in
Oh,
May. If a sober event if you ever want to hang out. But again, check out sober events. If you're interested, you could host a sober retreat or anything like that. And that, again, that's a way for you to build your sober community and meet some other really cool people.